After a nice weekend camping, hiking, then going to the zoo, I am back to talk about Star Wars. As the Star Wars Andor series is my favorite so far, I do want to break away from it for just a bit. After all, this is Star Wars Fanatic, not just Andor Fanatic. But I will be returning to Andor soon, I just can't seem to stay away from it. There's just too much of it to ignore. But for this video, I'd like to talk about another Star Wars series, Ahsoka. I'm sure you guessed that by the title and the thumbnail. In Ahsoka, we get a look at Stormtroopers like we've never seen them. Their armor is beat up and held together by red duct tape. Yes, I know it isn't really duct tape. And when the Stormtroopers are beaten by Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka Tano, the Night Sister witches spit their green glow and the Stormtroopers come back to life in true zombie fashion. But we have to ask ourselves, as Star Wars fans of course, what caused their deteriorating condition in the first place? The answer may be simple, but of course I'll propose a Star Wars theory, if nothing else for pure entertainment. Maybe we will get to see why these Stormtroopers have fallen into such disrepair in Ahsoka Season 2, but I wouldn't hold my breath as the story has moved forward and Thrawn and his troops have moved on. It's still fun to try to piece together the mysteries of Ahsoka and all of Star Wars anyway, though. Stop right there. You're looking for something. Found something you have. A positive YouTube channel that lets you enjoy Star Wars. Here we talk about what we like, and we just don't talk about the things we don't like. It keeps the BS to a minimum. So subscribe and be a part of this growing channel and enjoy Star Wars again. Okay, Ahsoka Season 1 gave us a glimpse into Star Wars that we weren't really prepared for. Or maybe we were prepared. I don't know. I can't read your thoughts. Sabine Wren being fully Force sensitive, Ezra Bridger all grown up, the introduction of the Gods of Mortis into live action, sort of, and of course the Night Troopers. A brand of Stormtroopers who have seen better days. Tattered armor held together by prominent red straps, and a silent horror behind each mask, led by Captain Enoch, who looked like a revived version of a futuristic Roman space gladiator, bore a gold mask of a face that was unsettling, to put it mildly. All along the Stormtroopers' armor are cracks, splits, signs of years of hardship and battle. But with what? What were Grand Admiral Thrawn's forces up against before Ahsoka Season 1? Okay, I take it back. This may well get answered with Ahsoka Season 2 next year when it releases, if I'm correct in what may happen. In a single word, Abeloth. I'm sure most of you have heard of Abeloth by now, so I don't think I need to go into her backstory. If you'd like me to make a video on Abeloth and her origins, let me know in the comments. Okay, so Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren are marooned on Paridia, a planet which could be a type of Force Nexus, or the planet the Purrgil took Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren to, and where they found Grand Admiral Thrawn and his Night Troopers. Anyways, the Night Troopers are showing signs of not just disrepair for about 6 years, but also combat. If we look around at the inhabitants of Paridia, we don't see much that Thrawn couldn't easily squash. There are the weird crab turtle people that wouldn't pose a threat to the most helpless of creatures. So no, it wasn't them who caused the problems for the Stormtroopers and Grand Admiral Thrawn prior to the events of Ahsoka Season 1. Then we have the band of marauders. Dangerous? Possibly. But they're too few to cause any problems on the scale that we see in the Stormtroopers' armor as Ahsoka Season 1 shows us. Sure, they could cause some damage to a patrol of Stormtroopers, or maybe even a platoon, but what we see in every Stormtrooper has damage, not just a few. So the damage had to have been done by something more capable from what we have been shown in Ahsoka. There aren't any other real threats about. I know we haven't been shown everything, and the weird crab turtle people could be more than what we see. That'd be a weird twist. But we have to remember This is Dave Filoni's story, and his stories are mostly made up of characters he created. I said mostly. And he created the gods of Mortis, including Abeloth, for the time being. At the end of Ahsoka Season 1, we see Baylan Skoll looking from atop the finger of the statue of the Father onto a bright beacon on the horizon. The statue is actually pointing to it, indicating this is where he must go, or telling us this is where he must go. And Baylan Skoll's personal mission was to stop the repetitive cycle of Republic, Empire, Sith, and Jedi once and for all. And this could be done through unleashing Abeloth. Maybe she hadn't died as previously thought in the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars series. After all, she is said to be immortal. But vampires are also said to be immortal, and you can kill those easily with some kitchen spices, sunlight, or a couple of sticks held like a crucifix. But we aren't talking about sparkling vampires in love, are we? We never talk about sparkling vampires in love here. Until now. Now we did. But I'm talking about them now. So let's move on. Abeloth is known as Chaos and the Destructor. She has all the force abilities of the other gods of Mortis combined. She may even be able to cheat death. We've heard that before. Instead of being killed or died of natural causes like liver disease, Abeloth could have been confined to a prison on Paridia in hopes that no one would ever find her, not knowing that there were some kind of crazy Night Sister witches on the planet who may see Abeloth as a way to escape or drain her power, possibly even under Thrawn's orders. But I don't think that to be the case entirely. Thrawn shows up in the throes of the Purgil as the Night Sisters battle Abeloth. Thrawn sends his troops to aid the Night Sisters with taking Abeloth down, as he sees them as potential allies against the remaining Jedi and the Rebellion. Remember, he was gone during the fall of the Empire. The troops get their heinies whooped and are successful in recapturing Abeloth, though. Many troopers have died, along with all but 3 Night Sister witches. However, Thrawn is somehow, able to subdue Abeloth and return her to her cell, much like the Greek story of Cronus, the father of Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, the Greek titan who was trapped in a cell in Tartarus. We won't keep talking about that too much. The story of Abeloth starts to sound a lot like the story of Cronus, though, and it only takes one single-minded former Jedi to complete the story on a galactic scale. I know a lot of us are hoping for the Grisk to show and be the big bad of Ahsoka Season 2, to show that Thrawn really was only searching for help for the Chiss Ascendancy, as stated in the newer 6 Thrawn novels. And we still might get that, just not right now. But I think this Abeloth story makes more sense for Ahsoka Season 2, and possibly beyond from what we've seen in Ahsoka Season 1. The Thrawn returning to the Chiss with help idea will have to be for another project, if he returns at all. He's done some pretty nasty things under the Empire, but that's a whole other story altogether. But that's it, my Star Wars theory about what happened to Thrawn's forces, the Night Troopers, prior to Ahsoka Season 1, has a bit of plausibility to it. And I can't take credit for all of the theory, or speculations if you will. I just added some bits to help it make more sense for the story shown in Ahsoka. I'd really like to know more about the Night Troopers in Ahsoka, and now that Grand Admiral Thrawn is flinging his junk around the galaxy with the undead aboard his ship, this could make for an interesting story. I'd also like to know what's in those casket-sized boxes that Thrawn called cargo. Dead Night Sisters being brought back to rule Dathomir again? If so, why weren't they brought back to life already? Not enough food? Or unlife, really. Why only the Stormtroopers and Death Troopers brought back to life? But that's what I have. Let me know in the comments what you think. Don't leave yet. You haven't subscribed to the channel and you haven't gave it a like. All this stuff you hear YouTubers talking about really does help smaller channels like mine get more views regularly. I'm trying to reach 50,000 subscribers and I can't do it without you. So please, help the algorithm, help the channel. Until the next time, may the Force be with you. But it won't help you with that corn chip smell coming from your socks. Go wash them.